All right, I'm recording. So I was feeling good until I like took a pot off the stove and moved it, and then my whole lower back went. You're 40.
Oh shit.
I'm sitting here with an ice pack on. My girl just rubbed me down. She's such an angel. I'm like, I didn't even lift a kettlebell, a weight. I fucking moved a pot,
Yo.
and my shit hurts so bad. It feels like someone fucking hit me, sidelined me like in
What
the
kind
NFL.
of pot was it? What was it like a
It was a big one, but I think what she said is she's like, you're not clearing the energy or the space like after, and you're holding a lot of this tension, these calls.
Yes. Yo.
And then my shit is like locked tight, and I haven't been foam rolling. I haven't been doing mobility. I haven't done anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck, man?
Dude, I noticed that just because we hold a lot of space here, and I'm like, ugh. You
Bro,
know, like,
I'm sitting here like, I cannot believe how tight I am, man. I'm like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
And I run all the time, and I haven't lifted weights this week, and I'm like, dude, I've had this injury though. I had it from wrestling, and then like Ironmaning didn't help from being in that hunched over like race position like this on the bike for hours on end.
Stretches
You're
that
like,
out. Yeah.
Yeah, your super curvature and the lower back gets pulled, and if you get running now, which tightens the hamstrings, that's what it feels like. It feels like it won't just, it's holding on. So I could feel it like in there. I've had this comes and goes. So I got to get vigilant on the path.
And you also probably been sitting too more.
Dude, I'm like, now I learned. Oh, I got massages after that. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
The girl's hooking it up. She's like, we need massages. I'm like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Those are the best, bro.
She's just such a sweetheart.
Yo, they're like $60 here, man. You know, they're not super dope, like I'm sure like they are in LA, but they're $60 here. A little Asian lady comes in there.
Yo, he look like a man.
With the hot stones.
Okay. Everything I tell you I saw.
Oh yeah. Dude, in Bali they're like $20 and they're fucking next level good.
Oh yeah, did I ever tell you the story?
Tell me. Oh, it's gonna be good. You're laughing up a storm.
I went to this massage place over here in Vegas, and the lady's like, okay, you got to take everything off. I'm like, all right, that's weird. Like that's different from these like Asian massage places here, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So I take everything off, and like, bro, she's up in my junk, man. Like,
oh, she was happy at the massage ball.
Dude, she was thumbing the balls, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way that she's gonna ask me if I want a happy ending, right? No way. Anyway, she flips me over on my stomach, and then she begins to straddle like over my back of the head, rubbing my upper back like down to my crack, you know, like this.
Oh my God, you got.
And I'm like, there's no way. And then she flips over and she goes, just massage?
Oh, you want?
Yeah. And I was like, you know, for that split second, I thought, wow, like how much is it? You know, like, is it included in the existing price that I already paid? Like all these thoughts went through my head, bro. But I ultimately turned it down.
Wow.
So.
You didn't get a little slap and tickle?
Have you ever gotten one, man?
Of course. I lived in San Francisco. It's the fucking tug-pulling capital of the world, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, I was like working like a maniac. I was working like 16-hour days.
Yeah.
In what would be considered the financial district. And we would just fucking get out, go to the bar, and then go over to like Green Door, which you have a Green Door in Las Vegas. Is a Green Door in San Francisco, and the woman who runs it. So we had a guy who took us there, Arnie.
Yeah.
Shamelessly enough, we called him Fat Arnie because he was like this really big fat guy, and he would like breathe heavy, but he would, like, that's how he would talk, and he would smoke cigarettes, which made it better. So he'd be like, he would do this. He'd be in the bar, he'd be drinking tequila, hanging out, go outside, You meet him, and he'd be like this. I gotta get healthy, you know. Like maybe he starts smoking that cigarette and eating a cheesesteak at lunchtime, or like
with everything
or
extra cheese.
he comes back with the foot long. He's that guy, the foot long, and he goes, "What's the problem? It's turkey, cheese, lettuce, tomato. It's healthy." I go, "Yo, it's on white bread. It's fucking formaldehyde. You got this at Subway."
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to eat fresh, you know. It's like
Eat fresh. Jared did it.
I tell you, and he would have a sweat rag with him. He'd be on a call. He'd be like, dude, the guy, since I was there, he had his gallbladder taken out and just recently had a heart attack. I felt so bad for the guy. But Fat Arnie knew everything San Francisco. He grew up there.
Yeah.
He was like
the guy. He was the guy that knew everything. The guy.
Everyone loved him. Everyone was like, "Oh, Arnie's a sweetheart. Arnie, right?" So he's like, yo, you ever go to rub, tuggy? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'll take you. I'm like, all right, we go in there. He's got the codes. He's like, hey, what's up, Mama San? And I'm like, Mama San? Is that like seafood, like the master? And she's like, oh, Ani, how are you? So good to see you. Long time, come by. And he's like, oh, Mama San, this is my friend here. Can we see the corral? The corral? What the fuck? She's like, yeah, for you, no problem. These girls, they just line them up. I'm like, nowadays I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like fucking sex.
Right, like right now, like with everything going on right now. It's
right
like,
now, I'm like, I definitely help someone get their card or something here illegally in the worst way. And
funny, not funny.
And you just, funny, not funny. And you just point. You're like, okay, her. And they just give you a little massage. They say, okay, you turn over now. I'm like, wow, this is fucking incredible place. Like this goes on here? And he tells me it's been going on for like 30 plus years, and that Mama San just pays the cops, greases them.
Yep.
There's a whole subculture of that.
Yeah, there was a spot I went out here in Vegas. It was actually near the Green Door. This guy, he was like, hey, come down to the place, check out my place. I'm interested in selling it. And next door to that place was this. It's fronted as a gym. Like it's fronted. It says like something gym, but it's actually like a men's club. Like it's near that in the Green Door shopping center. So it's a full shopping center full of like, little things like that. And he was selling that and the gym. And then when I walked in, it said sandwiches and U-Haul on the windows.
Two of the best things you need.
Right. Always. Right. I walk in, I'm like, it's maybe 1,000 square feet. So it's small in comparison to like the building. Right. So I'm like, we're talking in like these folding chairs. And he's like, I'm like looking around. I'm like, so you just sell sandwiches and like U-Hauls, and there's no sandwiches, like there's no deli meat. There's no like there's a guy on like a fold-up chair, like talking, like slanging U-Hauls. And then he's like, we got to talking a little bit more. He's like, no, let me show you. And we walk back into like this freezer looking thing. He opens up the freezer door, and it's this full like nightclub scene, like from Louisiana. The chairs are out. Like there's
how cool.
It's like a
speakeasy.
Yeah, like a speakeasy, but for like transgender and
wow.
And lesbians. It's dude, it's fucking so cool. Like
that's fucking so dope.
And I was like, yo, how often do you do this? And he had beautiful lighting. And the dude was like, he said he was like 80 something, like high 80s, man.
High 80s.
High 80s.
Sandwich U-Hauls and transgender nightclubs. What a guy. And
he was like, he was fit as a whistle, man. Like moving, like mobile, like hyped. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like, dude, I stopped eating meat, stopped eating dairy, pumping up greens, vibrating with love, and just eating
what
greens.
A guy.
What dope things going on for you right now.
So much, man. I'm so trying to just stay in the pocket, but there's like a tremendous amount of work. Tremendous. And it's good. It's not bad work because I love it, but a lot of calls each day too. That's that. I'm learning tremendous. And I'm like in this mode where I don't really like the word coach.
Yeah.
Just as much as how we define man, we don't really like say it's a men's group or a men's circle. It's the high fashion of self-development. It's just a whole different animal, you know? And I
Like
wanted
that,
to
like
figure
that
out.
Kobe commercial.
Are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
What the f is he talking about?
Yeah, we're like
Same animal, different beast, or whatever.
exactly. We're not trying to we want to touch upon everyone. You want the jocks, you want the gamers, you want the surfers, you want the skaters, you want everyone being like, yo, this is cool, I'm in. Because then that's how we collectively bond as a brotherhood. So the coaching thing is like coaching, you know, an oversaturated word in the marketplace. What is it really? How are these people credible? What the fuck are they teaching? You know, where did they learn from? There's some great ones. There's probably some shitty ones. But I like the science behind unlocking people, because there is a science to it, and it's more question-based asking than it is motivational speaking. And that's what I'm learning. It's you partially motivate them, but then you have to learn how to get them to activate their own mindset. You know, putting them in a state of mind, asking them big questions, allowing them to feel the change in frequency, and then saying, well, now you know what it feels like. What's stopping you? And it always comes back to the same question, you know? Same answer.
Yeah.
It's been great, man. What a process.
It's beautiful, man, because when you were speaking, man, thanks for sharing that, man. You were speaking about asking the right questions. And I know we were talking about affirmations a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And what I re-listened, because I recorded my affirmations.
Oh, nice.
Me saying things, and this was I did that earlier this year, and I put it behind like a beat, like a Wu-Tang beat, you know?
Oh, that woo affirmations.
Yeah. And I listened to them this morning, and it just clicked different. And I noticed that when I switch it versus like I am, asking a question, like my brain in general responds better to questions versus statements, because like what I have found sometimes just through the affirmation process is I am, let's say, right, I am wealthy. Then that like little thing pops up and says, no. Like thinking about all the little bullshit, like wealthy categorizing in all pieces of your life. It's like, no. Or I'm abundant. You're like, yeah, you were today, but not yesterday, you know? And then, but when things are like affirmed, like I easily and effortlessly achieve blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Or what am I grateful for today? Like these, because they say like those powerful questions yield powerful answers, you know? So I noticed that I just respond a little bit differently with the affirmations. And I think a lot of times people get so caught up on like trying to like do the same thing over and over and over again and making it work all the time. But it's just like muscle atrophy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, once you reach a specific point, you have to change, like you always have to change how you do things. And I think the mind works the same way.
It's interesting, right? I think people get addicted to a routine, but then they get disgusted with the non-elevated changes in growth. And it's like they just continue to do what gives them the same results, but then bitch about them.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yeah. And I don't think that goes away, right? That never goes away, right? I think it's just the notice of it, right? Like when that happens, like, you know, that's the gauge. And then like when you realize you're like, oh, okay, I got to go this way, you know? I think just when you notice it is the most important. And some people like choose not to notice it. They're just like, fuck it, or I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. I also notice there's another little category that I'm picking up on is There's people who do all of the work. They meditate, they journal, they chant, they do this, they do that, da, 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 da. But it's all doing and not being. So they're doing it as a checkbox task, but the connection to it and the truth behind it is inauthentic.
For sure. And I think that
so they show up in those hard situations as inauthentic.
for sure. You know, and that happens. I think that happens to everybody. You know, I think that happens. There's markers. You know, and little levels of that happen to everybody in all aspects. It's interesting how that works, man, because now it's just a checkbox, right? Now it's just a thing. And then what comes up for me, man, is like, okay, like where's the judgment coming from me? You know?
Yeah.
You know, like, all right, if I'm talking shit, right? Or if I'm speaking however I'm feeling, why is that showing? Like, where do I get to level up? You know?
I think a lot of it comes from, listen, we're a little jealous. Listen, I went through a phase for a long time. I finally got off it. And it just happens on this men's work, what we're doing with MVN, for me, I can only speak for me, is the most rewarding, therapeutic, uplifting thing I've ever done. And it's just like listening and being of service. It's exactly what the jungle said. A life of service is a life of joy. For me, this might not always work for people. Not a lot of people are going to want to do this. And I never had like, if you would have known me, like you've known me for like maybe a year now.
Yeah.
For the other 39 years, bro, I never talked like I want to do that. I was always like a business guy, like, oh, I'm going to build this idea. Oh, I'm going to study real estate. Oh, I'm going to read this millionaire mindset. Da, 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 da. And then I just sat back because I was calm coming into COVID because of all the leaving for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I just sat back when I just got kicked in it. Like even with Jerold's thing, like I didn't get fired. I quit.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, you're going to quit? Like, why don't you ask him if he could say? I said, no, it's blocking me from doing something and I trust it. And I just
Beautiful.
went off.
Wow.
I just signed a lease on the apartment. So I was like, what am I going to do? Then I thought about it. I said, well, what's this guy going to do? Do I want to be the guy that doesn't pay him? No. Do I have every intention to pay him? Yes. But like, what is he going to do? You're going to throw me out in the pandemic? Good luck. And it turned out he knocked on the door and was like, don't worry about the rent. And I was like, he didn't even ask me about a job or not. He goes, just don't worry about the rent. The world's crazy right now. Just be safe. And I'm like, thanks, blessing one. And then everything started like folding in. I got the PPP loan. I didn't have to go scrambling for a job. We're building this, we're building that. And, you know, man just kind of did its thing.
Yeah.
But like, I think people are always like, and I was going to say, I was jealous of like looking at other people, right? Like that thing I put up, worry about your own backyard.
Yeah.
Stop looking outside your backyard. People are hyper-focused because of our accessibility in these things.
Yeah.
Okay. They become markers to what success is.
For sure.
So I started like debunking that rule. And I said, you ever notice like, well, when I traveled, I said, look at the Balinese people. Why are they always fucking smiling?
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about it, right? And I started thinking about their culture. It's full of gratitude. They don't worry about anybody, like any other person's advantage. They worry about their gift to the world. They stay focused on their own personal happiness. So then I said, what really is happiness, right? Because for you, happiness is going to be different than me, than the next guy and the next guy. Some people want to live in Idaho and be a farmer, and they feel like, I made it. I bought my own farm. I have a wife, 2 kids. I ride a tractor. I'm fucking selling my product. I'm happy. But you ask that to the investment banker on Wall Street, he's like, oh, that sounds miserable. Yeah. Right? So his level of happiness is millionaire mindset.
Right.
Then you meet someone who's spiritual. All they want to do is do yoga. They become a yoga teacher. They make maybe $40,000 a year being a yoga teacher. I mean, I'm sure there's teachers that make more, but we know like laws of volume and
Yeah.
scalability. You can't
Right.
you can't even if they open up a core power and have like 80, 100 studios to
Right.
make money in that industry,
Right.
but they're happy.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm not looking on people's gram about what they're doing because 95% of it is falsified documents. Because I've met all these people and I'm like, bro, they're not that cool, and they're not doing what they say they're doing. And it's a good show. It's a really good digitized Truman show
Oh, it's
of
great.
what people are doing. So then I said, I'm not looking. I just started focusing on 3 little pillars. What value does my business create? Right? What service does it provide? And what solution does it give? So once I started thinking about those 3 things, like how do I create value? How do I create a service that creates a solution? And then it became easy because I was like, I don't have to worry about all the shit. Yeah, write that down. And now I'm just at the layer where I'm trying to say, well, we know the tools, right? The advertising and this, and how do you come to the market where people don't say, I've seen this before? It's another person telling me they're going to fix my life. It's another person saying, join my mastermind. It's another person saying, I have the solution. You don't like this. Or the people out there doing the repurposed Ty Lopez. And I love Ty. I know him. I'm like, what a smart guy. You know, the guy was like, hey, I'm up at the house on Hollywood Hills and just bought this new Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You know what I like better than this Lamborghini? All these books over here. Dude, you know how many people repurpose that? Like you see the new guy and they have the Rolls Royce truck. And they're
I haven't
like,
seen it.
oh, he's like, you want to get this truck? You know how I got this Rolls Royce? I'm invested in drop shipping. I'm like, stop. Stop lying. You are not buying a Bentley truck or a Rolls Royce SUV doing Amazon drop shipping. Pull the numbers.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Or
I know
what
who you're
about
talking about.
the Forex people? Now listen, there's some people crushing it, but you have to look at the majority, and it all comes down to people's desperation to make it. They'll say yes to anything. Like they don't research. They don't see how risky a Forex investments are and how good you have to be at understanding markets and flows and like that. Holy shit, this guy's fire.
They're great. They're great, man. Like I was watching something on Ty a couple days ago. I think it was with Brad Lee.
Okay.
You know, he was like smartest. Like, and I was in one of Ty's masterminds.
Yeah.
And
I knew him when he was doing the millionaire dating.
Oh, dude, like
he tried doing a Sky Bar. I was like, dude, these chicks look like they're 13, bro. Are you sure they're fucking 21?
Oh, this
like,
again.
Yeah,
we can only bring this up once. We'll get in trouble.
Oh my God. I was like, these dudes look like they're 80 and these chicks look like they're just got out of high school. This is horrible.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
Yeah,
we only did one event. We only did one event. Only one event. We got to fire him. One event and fired him.
And now Ty owns real estate, farms, and great marketer. Phenomenal marketer.
Great marketer. Smart.
Billie Jean too. I like Billie Jean too.
I have his courses.
I do too.
God, man. Billie Jean, I love you, but do you have to send me a fucking email a day? Holy shit. He's like a vulture. He knows what I'm doing. He's like, hey, I saw you just took a shit. If you swipe up now, I'll get you that Billie Jean toilet paper. It's a 3-ply, not 2. And I'll show you how you can market it too. I'm like, dude, how does he know?
He knows.
What does he know?
He has like, bro, he has like, dude, I'm in his like weekly calls too. Fire, man.
Yeah, he's fire. I'll give it to him.
You know, he's spending a lot of money. He's doing a lot. He films a lot of content.
He films a lot of content. Not my kind of content, but kudos to him.
Right. And like the learning stuff, dude.
Yeah, his courses are good.
Sick. Like for the value.
Yeah. I also got Julian Alexander, young buck living in Bali, smart as fuck. And I sent you my boy Brandon Barrett.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart kid.
Dude, sick.
Smart kid. He was working, or still does. I met him when I was working for Jerold. He was doing all the back end, the lead gen and the tactics there. And listen, you know what I learned? Ain't no one doing magically something different. It's all the same science.
Right.
You run ads, you create sales funnels, this and that. The hard goal is, you ever see an ad for a Ferrari? Nope. You ever see an ad for the new, like, get the new Phantom? Nope. High fashion, high luxury, don't advertise. Only in the magazines. Only in the magazines for purposes of art.
Yeah, like
So I'm saying, how
like
do you get man like that?
Pharrell's brand, you know?
Yeah, like ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream, and then that
Billionaire Boys Club.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Supreme, but Supreme took a long time. My boy who owns Antisocial Social Club, Meek, never advertises, cult following. Those things take time, but I was curious, like, how cool would this be, right? You're just driving down Sunset, and there's a billboard, and it just says MVN Movement. It's like a bunch of cool dudes, and they're like, what the fuck is that? Fucking self-development on Sunset. That would be so cool, man. I got to make that goal happen, Tyson. Or like you land in Vegas, and it just says MVN Movement.
You could just do it, man. It's like $3,000 a month.
Fuck. That's some shitty ass. I got to get an investor for that, man. That's a waste of money.
Yeah,
that's just like basically pulling your penis out and being like, you see it?
Yeah, then that's it. Take a picture, and then that's it. Put it on Instagram. Instagram, bro.
Put it up for, how much for just a day? Let me get it up for a day, then you put it on the gram. Yo, we on Sunset, son. You wrap a Lambo in it, too. It's gaudy as hell. Yeah. Gaudy as hell. MVN Movement rap.
Yeah. Bro, hella clicks.
Hella clicks. People be like, yo, I want to be in that shit, man. What you teaching? Investing? I'm like, no, I'm going to teach you how to love yourself. What?
No, that's so cool that, as soon as you let go of the stuff, man, doors started opening up. It's kind of like the surrender experiment, man.
Oh, you're reading it?
Yeah, I'm on like chapter 16 or something.
You're firing through it.
Today, made me tear up because it was that part.
Yeah, what are you up to? I'm trying to remember.
He was doing his doctrine, and he was practicing yoga, and he didn't want to take the exam, and then he grabs the book, and he it was like 2 days before, something like that. And he blesses this book, and then he says he fans through it and lands on a page and reads those pages.
That's what I do.
And that shit was on the exam.
Dude, that guy has the best. Surrender. He surrendered to everything. He got everything. Ups and downs and all arounds, man.
Yeah.
I read that book on the way to Bali, and I landed, and I was like, all right, I'm going to surrender.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how that unfolds, man.
A lot of the cards I pulled recently, too. The I Ching, I was doing it with my buddy, who I'm going to have host a Qigong class. And he was doing my I Ching for me. And it basically said, you're already the master, you're already the guru, now it's time to believe in the cosmos. And I was like, whoa, interesting. So I just kind of sat back, and I was like, I believe, I always say to people, the difference between a dream and a viable business is action. But I also believe now that you have to have action, but you also have to have faith. So you can't be all secret. Like, I'm just going to meditate and a bag of money is going to show up and da-da-da. I don't believe in that. I believe you have intention, but then you take action.
Right.
There's a guy called the Spiritual Entrepreneur. He was on London Real. I forget his name. But he said something, and I took out the podcast. I was like, bloop, plucked it. He said, you can't meditate yourself out of a bear attack. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's fire, because the bear ripped your fucking face off. And you're there like this, Om Shanti, go away.
Om Shanti.
The bear's like, see you later, Shanti, you're over. But you might have to grab that fucking bear by the dick and be like, I'm going to fucking live. Then you make it out. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. The bear might be like, oh, my God. I never thought he would do that to me.
You grabbed my dick.
Come here, little fucker. And he's like, oh. He just takes off. So I always say, you got to have some action in it. You got to have this ability to go, but a little bit of faith. So when I sit back as I'm getting into I mean, we're like right there. It's like marketing has to start going out for a container to season 2, the MVN Real World Challenge is coming out.
Season 2.
So we got to
Swipe up.
figure out, like, you know, I mean, I guess just having faith. Will people see it? Will they this and that? I don't know. I'm sure we'll have many more conversations on what that looks like, but
Yeah.
I think they just will come, you know?
Yeah. It's that's super, super cool, man. Because I can relate to so much of that because coming, you know, when you were in San Francisco and doing your thing, you know, it's like a boom, 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 same thing. Like when I was in the real estate, like I'm still in the real estate space, and it's this transition, like out of to more aligned action, you know, because
Right.
those things are no longer in alignment, and like, so it's this switch, and it's like, okay, like when's the like snip off, you know? Because then it's like a rubber band, you know, then I know it flows really quick. So, you know, and then that trust, you know, that
trust,
faith, man, you know, the faith that it's going to work out.
But you're killing it.
Dude, yeah, man.
I mean, you got content. I was like, what do you have, a fucking bunch of minions just banging content out at your house? You got content every fucking day. That takes time, man. That's why I don't want to do it. Like, I look at what you're doing, I'm like, that takes time, a lot of it.
Yeah. And then, you know, I used to like, I have some people that edit stuff for me. They're good. But when I edit, like, bro, like I still like the editing process, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's fun, you know? That's art to me.
I can't wait to start creating, like, I really just want to, like, make money. The next round, I'm going to set aside a good chunk of money. I want, like, a whole video production team and just put out fire content. Like, quality, well done. I know that, like, Gary Vee's like, who cares? Put it out. I'm like, I care.
No, because it makes a difference to me, man.
I want it clean, sharp, modern.
Like, I want, like, you want people to watch it. Like, you want people like you. So
I want to make, like, movie trailers for fucking self-development.
Yeah.
People are like, wait, so when's this coming out? I'm like, it's October 21st. International action star Tyson De La Cruz is MVN Movement. Did I remember the movie phone guy? Thank you for calling movie phone.
Oh,
please press 1 to select a theater near you.
And
Remember
you couldn't press 0. Like,
No.
You couldn't go, like, you had to wait. Like, fucking,
And then
like,
remember
I'm on
Seinfeld?
movie phone.
Yeah, hold on. I'm checking the movie times. And then someone yell, you shit, I missed the fucking Terminator, man. I gotta go back. Nope, you gotta wait.
Did he say
And
5:30 or 5:15?
I don't know, man. I just go with 5. And on Seinfeld, he was like doing it. It was Kramer.
Yeah.
And he's like, press 1 to see this and that. Press 2 for this and this. And he goes, boop. And he goes, you've selected 1. He goes, no, I pressed 2. And he goes, why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to see? That's like, I get so mad now. I have to control myself. Is like, the automation of things. When we were talking about automation, it's like every phone you call, it never is just like, hello, Amazon. Sarah speaking. How can I help you? It's like, hi, you've reached Amazon. Interested in shipping? 1. Want to talk to a customer service representative? 2. Then you press 2 and it goes, before we connect you, tell us what you need. I'm like, customer service. Yes, but before we connect you, tell us what you need. I'm like, refund. You said refund. If this is correct, press 2. I'm like, can't it just be a button? It just goes to the lady.
And then before you get to the lady, they're like, would you be interested in taking our short survey after the call?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I am not interested. That's it. Killing it, grilling it.
Cool, man.
Dude, love you, brother.
I love you too, man. Hey, can you drop this in a Google Drive?
You got it, man.
Cool, man.
Later, bye.
Enjoy your massage. Later.
Thanks.